Hey y'all, welcome back. Neptune Rising Astrology. We are going to be talking about the Sagittarius lunar eclipse full moon happening on May 26th of 2021. We're in eclipse season, y'all. Are you ready? Are you ready? I don't know if I'm ready. But we're going to get into it. We got this Sagittarius lunar eclipse happening at 5 degrees of Sagittarius. And what makes this full moon a lunar eclipse is its proximity to the nodes of fate. So I've talked about this before a bit, but the nodes of fate, also known as the lunar nodes, are 2 points. They're not real astral bodies or planets or anything like that, but they're 2 points where the Earth's orbit and the moon's orbit intersect. And these are thought to refer to past lives, your evolutionary journey in this lifetime. So it's very much like fate, karma vibes, you know. So when we've got a full or new moon within 10 degrees of these nodes, it's an eclipse. Now this full moon in Sagittarius is at 5 degrees, and the south node, the current transiting south node, is at 10 degrees Sagittarius. So these are only 5 degrees apart. So this is going to be high energy, to say the least. Now, what makes this a full moon is the fact that the moon, which is at 5 degrees Sagittarius, is exactly opposite, 180 degrees away from the sun in Gemini. So we are having to balance this polarity, these sister signs. So as an archetype, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. It's very optimistic. It's very naturally expansive. You know, it wants to explore, it wants to learn, it wants to really believe in something, really have faith in something. And the sun in Gemini wants to be present in its immediate environment. It's not this let's dip, let's run away and see the world type of energy. It's more like there's so much around me right now to observe and to learn from. It's never ending right here in my present environment. So these signs are really important this year because the north and south nodes are also in Gemini and Sagittarius. So with the south node in Sagittarius this year, we're really having to purge, having to release these outdated beliefs that we have. Sagittarius can really just follow something blindly. And we need to release that. We need to release this self-righteousness, this idea that we know everything, this idea that we are always right, And what we're going towards with the North Node in Gemini right now, and for the rest of the year, is being present. Being present in our environment, learning how to observe, to get information, to be open to the facts, and not so much be really caught up in our beliefs and what we think to be true, but being open to new perspectives. Gemini is the twins. Gemini is all about there's always going to be two sides of a story. There's always going to be different perspectives. It isn't this one track mind. You think about Sagittarius is a centaur. Think about horse racing. They got their blinds on. They're literally just focused. They're just whereas the twins, they're chattering, they're arguing with each other. So Gemini's always got the little angel and devil on their shoulder, talking in their ear, disagreeing with themselves, contradicting themselves. But that's what we need to open ourselves up to, is the fact that, there isn't just one way of seeing things. There isn't just one truth. That's not the case at this point in time. If the North Node was in Sagittarius, it would be a different story. But this year we got the North Node in Gemini. So we got to be open to different perspectives. We got to be open to changing our mind. We got to be open to communication, to learning, So this full moon, this lunar eclipse, is very important because it's really bringing in those themes to our emotional awareness. with this full moon, with this lunar eclipse at 5 degrees Sagittarius, so close to the South Node, this is really a time where we have to release. We have to let go of judgments. You know, this is really about releasing judgments of others, because you don't know their experience. Like, everyone has a different life path. Everyone has different experiences that have gotten them where they're at. Like, everyone has different choices. Everyone has different options. That's what Gemini is aware of, you know? Like, everyone's got their own options. So we have to release. We have to release this idea that we know it all, because we don't. And we can't speak for other people. We can't be, like, following this Sagittarian, like, one truth rules them all, like, one truth suits everyone, because one size does not fit all. One size does not fit all, no. So we are letting go of judgments, and that includes judgments of ourselves. Like, I think a lot of us have these outdated beliefs that at this point are really just holding us back. And, like, who's really upholding those but ourselves, you know? Like, who's really the obstacle here? Like, I guarantee you there's something that you just, like, have believed for so long about yourself that maybe it just isn't true anymore, or, like, it just doesn't serve you anymore. So why are you holding on to that, you know? It's time to let go. That's what the South Node is all about. This is a past life point. This is about release. This is about letting go. You know? So, like, what is that belief that you've had about yourself that you've just held on to for, like, too long? It's expired. It's rotten. It's bad. It's got to go into the trash at this lunar eclipse. Like, it's done. Now, this eclipse is also interesting because Sagittarius' ruler, which is Jupiter, just went into Pisces recently. And it's only going to be in Pisces for, like, a couple months, because then it's going to go backwards. It's going to retrograde back into Aquarius. So it's only getting up to 2 degrees Pisces, which is, you know, there's 30 degrees in a whole sign. So that's, like, really nothing. But we're getting a little sneak peek before next year when Jupiter's in Pisces for an extended period of time. And Pisces is another mutable sign, which Sagittarius and Gemini are both mutable signs. So all 3 of these signs are really about being adaptable. And, I mean, eclipse season is all about change. So I feel like we're really having to learn how to be adaptable, how to be flexible, how to just, like, ride the wave, you know? And that's what Pisces is about. Pisces is just riding the wave, just going with the flow. With Jupiter and Pisces, our journey right now, like, what we need to expand, what we need to learn from is surrender. Is just going with the flow. Is realizing, like, this shit is a co-creation. Like, you cannot control it all. So some things you just have to, like, let go of. You just need to give up, because, like, you're never going to know everything, you know? And Jupiter loves to be in Pisces. Jupiter loves to feel just free and limitless and, like, you know, just let go. So this is a beautiful placement for Jupiter to be in, but it's in a T-square to this full moon. So what that means is it's about 90 degrees apart in 2 squares, both from the sun and from the moon right now. Since all 3 are in mutable signs, they're all 90 degrees apart. So this is kind of the obstacle right now. Or, like, this is what we need to integrate. Because, you know, Gemini and Sag really just, they want to know things. They want to know everything. Like, Gemini wants to just be learning and talking and, like, picking up new facts, new information. And Sagittarius has this idea that they already know everything because they have this really strong belief and this really strong, like, passion about it, you know? But Pisces is kind of in the middle. Pisces is in a square to both of these. Pisces is like, I don't know anything. Like, I just have to go with the flow. I just have to let go. I just have to surrender to it. And so that's what we have to work on at this lunar eclipse, at this full moon. We really have to learn to surrender to not knowing. you know? And I think this, also Jupiter is about expansion. So Jupiter is going to make this feel really big. That's what Jupiter does best. It's going to make things feel blown up, out of proportion. So in a square to our sun and moon, it's going to like make this little tug of war between the Gemini sun and the Sag moon. It's going to make it feel like way bigger than it really is. And this is really just forcing us to confront the fact that like we need to surrender to something. You know? We are not in control. Some things we just need to let go of and just go with the flow. Like, I mean, this is really about releasing the past with the lunar eclipse, the full moon right on the south node. Like, this is about releasing the past, releasing those outdated beliefs. And with the sun in Gemini, like, we want to know what's going on. Like, we want to be able to kind of make a plan at least. Like, Gemini is mercurial. It's ruled by the planet of our thoughts and logic, like rationality. We want things to make sense. So that's this tug of war that's going on right now, is like releasing this idea that we know everything and kind of going towards like making sense of things based on like our current environment, our current situation, the being present, being observant. But right in the middle is like this need to realize like we don't know everything. We're not in control. The need to just surrender, to let go. And this is really heightened because we've also got Venus and Mercury forming a square over to Neptune. Now, Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces, so it's a similar vibe. It's very much about a lack of clarity. It's all about like what is not clear, what we can't see. It's not like physical. It's just like a vibe. It's a feeling. It's an energy. It's an intuitive pull. It's a mystery. Like, it's a fantasy. It's just some, you know, it's a vibe. It's a vibe. But with Mercury, which is the planet of logic, communication, and Venus, which is our desires, what we value, what we want, with these planets conjunct in Gemini, we really want to like know what's going on. But they're in a square to Neptune. They're 90 degrees away from Neptune. So Neptune's like, sorry, I'm going to make this real hard for you. I'm going to make this real foggy, real blurry. Like, it's not going to be clear. As much as Mercury and Venus want things to just be clear, you know, they're in an air sign. They want clarity. They want to see everything from multiple perspectives. But Neptune's here like, sorry, dude, like, you don't know everything. You just got to let go. Sometimes you just got to surrender to not knowing and be okay with that and just be along for the ride. Because, yeah, there's a definite lack of clarity right now. And that's just inherent to this moon cycle, this specific lunar eclipse. There's a lot of Neptune energy. There's a lot of Pisces energy. So we're really having to balance this need to like know everything, this need to learn everything, with the fact that like we won't know. Some things you just have to trust. So with Jupiter and Pisces, with this square over to Neptune happening, like we really need to just release something. We need to really let go of something. We need to really surrender to something in our lives right now. And it could just be a lack of clarity. Like, it could just be confusion. Like, it could just be having to be okay with not knowing what's going to happen. And because there's so much mutable energy in this lunar eclipse, it's really just like, gotta be flexible, gotta be adaptable, gotta go with the flow. I don't know, like, that's the vibe. That's what's happening. Now, we've also got Saturn, which has just turned retrograde, like, in the past week, coming closer to its second square of the year with the planet Uranus. Now, this year, 2021, is really categorized, really, I feel like, defined by this really major aspect, which is the Saturn-Uranus square, which is happening 3 times this year. The first one was in February. The second one which is coming up, will be exact June 17th. And then the third one is going to be Christmas Eve in December. But basically, this square is all about instability. It's all about having to break free of something. Because Saturn is our restriction. Saturn is the past. Saturn is stability. Saturn is, authority, rules. And Uranus is that urge to break free, to liberate yourself, the urge to do something impulsive and unexpected, the urge to just follow your intuition. It's like a download energy. Like something just comes to you and you're like, I have to go do this. I have to act on this. Whereas it might not be really responsible. It might not be the mature thing to do because it's in this hard square aspect to Saturn, which is all about maturity. It's all about patriarchy. It's all about now, you know better. But Uranus is this liberatory, erratic energy that's just gonna do what it wants. So all year we're kind of dealing with these energies, but now that Saturn just stationed retrograde, it's kind of going back to this square, going back to this peak energy of we're really having to reflect on how these rules, how these things that we've really held on to because they're stable, because they feel secure, how is that holding us back? What do we need to liberate ourselves from? Because I know there's something in your life that's just you're just holding on to it because it's been in your life for so long, or because it just feels like it's what you're supposed to do. It's a responsibility or even a guilt. Saturn can really bring a lot of guilt. And Uranus is here to be fuck that. Fuck that. Do what you want. Break free. Leave the matrix behind. We're in a year of a lot of instability. Things are very unsure. There's a lot of tension between the past, Saturn, what has been, and the future, Uranus, what will be. I mean, squares are really about integrating, so it's not, you don't have to pick a side, but it's good to be aware of these two voices in your head, or these two different, I'm sure there's a Saturnian voice that's be responsible, you better be doing this. And then there's a Uranian voice in your head that's fuck that, I don't want to do that. No. It wants to rebel. It wants to liberate. It wants to be free. It wants to do something new that has never been done before. It wants to innovate. So just listen to those two voices, especially as we're nearing this second square. See where this is coming up for you. It could be an issue you're having with a boss, or just internally with your own boss, with your own internal parent voice, just pay attention and recognize at this lunar eclipse, as we are releasing outdated beliefs, as we are releasing judgment, really pay attention. What is this judgmental voice, which might be I don't know, it could be either one. I'm leaning towards the Saturnian one because Saturn is more things have to be a certain way, and Uranus is very open. So listen to that Saturnian voice and really reflect on is this serving me? Where I'm at right now in my life, regardless of what has happened in the past, in the present, is this serving me? Is this belief, is this voice actually helping me out, or is it holding me back? I don't know. It's up to you. Just, think about it. I feel there's just this big theme right now of releasing the past. And that I feel is inherent to eclipse season. Eclipse season really brings up the past because it does bring the North and South Node into the mix emotionally, the moon is all about your emotions. It's about your reactions. It is about your past in a sense. It's about your patterns. And the south node is quite literally like the past life point, or just like what is known, what is comfortable to you already. And the north node is about what is foreign in a sense, like what is new, what you should be working towards in order to like eventually fully integrate the two, what is known and what is unknown. But yeah, we gotta release the past because it's been a wild time. Now, I would also recommend watching my Sagittarius solar eclipse video that was, I believe, in December. I can link it in the down here. I'll link it below. But that was the Sagittarius new moon solar eclipse 6 months ago. So that is when this cycle started. This cycle that we are really concluding. We are wrapping up right now at this lunar eclipse. So I would recommend watching that and just thinking back to December, last eclipse season, like what was going on for you, what started then that maybe now is like, it's time to end that, you know? Just some thoughts. And we've also got Mercury, which is going to be stationing retrograde just 3 days after this eclipse. So it's been in its shadow period since May 15th, I believe. So whatever's been going on since May 15th is kind of going to be replayed during this Mercury retrograde. And so just like think about that, like communication stuff. With Mercury retrograde happening in Gemini this time, it's really going to be about seeing things from a new perspective. So be open, you know? Be open. Communication's going to be a little wacky, not going to be super clear. Again, there's a huge lack of clarity going on right now. I mean, Mercury is also like in a square to Neptune. So we are really kind of like caught up in ideals or fantasies or... So Neptune can manifest in a number of ways, Neptune aspects. So it could be that you are just really over-idealizing something, or it could feel like way worse than it is. You know, Neptune is just about a lack of clarity. So this could manifest as like feeling really depressed and really anxious and projecting a lot onto a situation, onto a person, and just, you know, really getting in your head about it and not being super grounded in reality. Or it could be this like over idealization, like over like indulging in fantasy, you know. Neptune is just not grounded energy, to say the least. So be aware, like, our thoughts are not going to be grounded right now. Like, they're just not. That's okay. This could be a beautiful time to make art. This could be a beautiful time to really, like, connect to yourself spiritually if you, like, haven't been doing that regularly. This is a great time to dream, you know? Especially with Jupiter in Pisces right now. Like, this is all about the dream. We're in it right now. We're living the dream. Like, Pisces is the party sign. It's time to make art. It's time to feel free. It's time to dream about the future. It's time to just, like, go with the flow, be in the present. Give into your fantasies a little bit. Give into your fantasies a little bit. Give into your dreams a little bit. Like, it's okay. And just, most importantly, don't think you know it all. Be open. Like, Jupiter is the planet of luck. So this is also about, like, blessings. Like, you gotta be open to receiving blessings from the universe, or else, like, you might miss them. I don't know. But this, yeah, be open. You don't know what's gonna happen. That's the thing about eclipse season. It's really like a curveball. Like, you can't predict what's gonna happen. And this is not a time to be manifesting. Like, the energy is way too high, way too out of control. Like, this shit is bringing the past up. It's bringing the past up. This is karmic. This could even be past life stuff. So you don't want to mess with the energy, really. Now, I'm going to pull some tarot cards for this lunar eclipse. We'll see what's up. We'll see what's good. Lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. Okay, so I pulled the Two of Bats or Two of Swords reversed, the Magician reversed, and the Nine of Cups, Nine of Ghosts reversed. It's interesting these are all out reversed. Definitely speaks to the past, definitely speaks to like a need to release stuff right now at this south node point, at this lunar eclipse. Now, I don't know, I feel like this is really about self-doubt. Like, this is really the need to release indecisiveness about your ability to create your dream, to manifest your dream. Because, like, this card is all about indecisiveness. Like, this is a mental game. Like, she could easily just, like, remove the blindfold, but she's just got her arms crossed, you know? Like, she's just choosing not to see things for how they are. You know what I mean? But the reality of the situation is, like, you have the power to create your dream. Like, you have the power to manifest your dream. You do. You do. Without a doubt. Like, you are the only one really holding yourself back from that. And I mean, bottom of the deck is the Four of Cups reversed. So this is really just out of a fear of, like, being open to feeling new things. Like, I don't know, maybe you're hurt or something, but it's time to be open. Jupiter's in Pisces. Like, it's time to feel. It's time to let yourself feel things, you know? Like, take your blindfold off. Take your blindfold off. Let yourself, like, be in the moment. Let yourself believe in your dream. Now, I want to see, for the rest of eclipse season, up till the solar eclipse that's going to happen June 10th in Gemini, what's the vibe? What's the energy till then? Alright. So we've got the Devil reversed. We've got the Two of Pumpkins or Two of Pentacles. And we've got the Wheel of Fortune reversed. The Wheel of Fortune is, like, such an eclipse season card to me. Like, literally anything can happen. I feel like these cards really do represent, like, the polarity that we're dealing with right now, though. Like, having to juggle in our physical reality the need to release outdated attachments that we have. Like, what is keeping you chained? You know, like, what are you chained to? Like, the need to juggle that with being open to anything happening. Like, and that also really speaks to this Saturn-Uranus square that's coming up, is like, what are you holding on to? What is keeping you chained? What is restricting you? What feels like it's just causing delays in your life? Like, what is holding you back? And, like, learning how to juggle that, learning how to integrate that with this, like, Uranian, like, anything can happen. Like, you got to be open to the wheel just spinning and landing anywhere and, like, taking you anywhere in life. And that's what Jupiter in Pisces is about, too. It's, like, just being down for the ride. Just, we got so much mutable energy right now. Like, you just got to be down for the ride. Like, I don't know. You're not going to know what's going to happen. But you got to, in the meantime, just, like, be present. Juggle your reality. Like, be as grounded as you can be. But also don't be too hard on yourself about it. Because, like, the inherent energy of this time is not grounded. And it's not stable. And that doesn't reflect on you. Like, that's not just in your life. This is in the stars right now. This is the theme. This is the archetype that we are dealing with currently. And it's just about, like, being adaptable. Just, like, you can juggle it. Like, you're perfectly capable of juggling this. It's interesting that we've got both the Two of Swords, the Two of Bats, and this Two of Pentacles, Two of Pumpkins right now, because, I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, 2 is a very, like, Gemini energy. We're in Gemini season. So there's a lot of, like, seeing things from different sides. Swords is a mental energy. It's a very, like, that is such a Gemini card. But in the next 2 weeks, up to the next eclipse, we're really going to have to see how this manifests in our physical reality and just, like, be adaptable. Just, like, figure it out as you go type thing, because the most important part is that you are releasing this idea that you know what's going to happen. You know it all. Because that's what's holding you back. That's what's preventing you from being open to, like, real changes happening in your life. And this could be anything, you know? Like, this is not a negative or positive card. This is just, like, anything can happen, you know? But change is what makes you grow. So I guess it is positive, I feel like. Yeah, we have to have a new way of seeing things, a new perspective. Like, what's going to come out of this whole time is just this new idea of how to be, how to exist, how to think, how to communicate. Like, we're learning to communicate in a new way. We're learning to have this new perspective that we've never had before. And I feel like that's really going to come at the new moon, at the solar eclipse that's happening June 10th in Gemini. So yeah, I hope that this was useful for you. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much. Yeah, just let yourself ride through it. I don't know. I'd be happy if anyone commented below. And you're welcome to reach out to me for a reading if you're interested in personal readings at neptunerisingastro@gmail.com. I'm also going to put that down here. So yeah, check out the box. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you feel inclined to do. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys at the next eclipse. And I hope your eclipse season is fun. At the very least, you know, have fun, let loose a little bit. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be a wild ride. Let's go.